MoveQuest shows what life can give. Earn MQT every stride. Build your back, don't let it slide. Move to earn, move to live. MoveQuest shows what life can give. Earn MQT every stride. Build your back, don't let it slide. Get up, 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 get up.
All right, all right. Once again, thank you for all for joining in on our Tuesday night MoveQuest update call, where we find out everything that's going on in the community and get our questions answered and information delivered from none other than the creator of MoveQuest, Miss Lynette Arden. Few housekeeping things we want to cover before we get started. One, we want to thank and welcome all of our new members to the MoveQuest community to tonight's call. You're in for a wonderful ride. Many of us have been here for anywhere from 1 year to 4 and have been enjoying the experience all the way. It is a true crypto blockchain project that has been built to last and will be here for many, many years to come. One other housekeeping thing, any of the information that you hear on this call is not considered to be or should not be taken as investment advice. It is clearly opinions and mathematical assumptions based on the facts or the information that is at hand at present. Anytime you're parting with your hard-earned money, you always want to make sure that you are seeking the counsel of certified, licensed advice from a financial advisor before you make decisions for you and your family. Now that that's out of the way, many of you, I mentioned a week or so ago that we would be having a new event or challenge introduced to the community that is imminent and will take place by the end of this week. More information will be coming out as to all of the particulars that will be associated with being able to qualify and complete the challenge, but look forward to more information over the next 48 to 72 hours being delivered to the community. But before then, we wanted to make sure that we get everything squared away, or at least taken care of in reference to the hatchery. We didn't want those two things happening simultaneously. So before we get started this evening, Mr. Hayden, I'm going to see if you have anything you want to add. Tonight's call is going to be shorter than normal. Miss Lynette is here with us. She's going to share some detailed information in reference to the hatchery. And, we will have additional calls if necessary to provide any specific details to the community in reference to that, as well as the challenge as the days come about. So outside of that, Mr. Hayden, if you have anything, let us know. If not, we'll go ahead and let Miss Arden take the floor.
Check 1, 2. Yeah, you know what? That elite event looks like it's gonna be absolute fire, man. I'm looking forward to that. How you doing tonight, Mr. Herschel Crow?
Doing wonderful, sir. Doing wonderful.
Awesome. Beautiful. Well, thank you so much for giving me the floor. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another Tuesday night MoveQuest community call event. This is Hayden Andre, your friendly neighborhood digital asset investor, as always, maxing out, kicking it live in 2025, energized, supercharged, and extremely excited about success. Big shout outs and congratulations to the entire MoveQuest nation. I mean, I don't know about anybody else, but it feels great to be here with all of you celebrating 1 year operating on the Avalanche blockchain. It's been an amazing journey. Just a quick value-based reminder before we begin. Now, tonight, I'd like to share an OG 300 story. Okay, now for those of you who are new, last year in July and August of 2024, a special group of 300 people teamed up to launch MoveQuest on the Avalanche blockchain. And as you can imagine, those of us who knew, we invited everyone who we knew to be part of something very new and super cool. Now, some people listened, And some people passed, and some people just watched. But as you can imagine at the time, we were looking around to see who is ready for action. So I, like everybody else, was just thinking, who who is ready to take action immediately? Because the launch window was closing. So I sat there. Who else can I call who can take action right now without having to have some kind of a big long story because we were going to go live in the next few hours? So then it came to me. My son, at the time, he was like 13 years old. And I mean, he was old enough to get a bank account. So I said, why not a decentralized crypto wallet? So I asked him, I said, how do you feel about being part of MoveQuest? And he said to me, I was actually going to ask you if I could do it. So I said, cool. Here's the deal, though. You're going to have to use your own money. Because at the time, I had already maxed out what I had on a full set of Titans. So he said, how much do I need? Now, at the time, you needed at least 100 US to participate with a minimum of 2 navigators, previously called Lennies. So he went into his little bank, pulled out a bunch of bills, put it on the table and said, Dad, is this enough? So I told him, yeah. And I put it together so he could have a crypto ready start. I took care of all the crypto stuff for him. Now, fast forward today. This 14-year-old young man is mining with a full set of Titans, fat stack of MQT in the hatchery and in his wallet. And also in the claim contract because he's not claiming right now so that he can boost his Titan's abilities. Now, most importantly, he positioned himself to receive crypto for the rest of his life simply because he was brave enough to take action and start small. Imagine right now, today, someone can take time out of their schedule one time, download an app one time, create a wallet, and configure the device to work with the app and the wallet one time. And from that moment forward, create a stream of income for the rest of their life. No product to sell, no service to sell, no team building or recruiting as a condition to receive digital assets. All you have to do is focus on your own personal ability to be consistent with your own healthy physical activity. You can create life-changing wealth. Whoever is looking for it to be easier than that, there is only one place you can find it. Write this down. www.lalaland.youneedacheckup.com. The best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The second best time is right now. For those of you who are new to this industry, please prioritize safety, security, and best practices. Like all great opportunities, it's important to do the right things to get the right results. Taking shortcuts and making errors in crypto can be disastrous and result in loss of valuable digital assets. So double check, triple check, quadruple check your transactions before sending and confirming them. One of the unique characteristics of crypto and blockchain is that transactions are very secure. However, once they're completed, they cannot be reversed, deleted, and duplicated. Also, remember, no one from any branch of MoveQuest will ever contact you privately asking you to connect your wallet somewhere or share your private security information. Never, ever share your password and private keys with anyone. Now, you can learn more about MoveQuest by visiting www.movequest.com. That's all for tonight, Mr. Herschel Crow. Everyone stay focused, stay rich, max out, and level up in life. Herschel Crow, back over to you.
All right, Mr. Hayden, I appreciate it. One other thing I wanted to cover real quick for those prize winners, all of the shirts and bags and everything have been made. They are in receipt. And I will start shipping all of those out tomorrow. Everyone that is outside of the US, I've been getting most of everybody's contact information. It's only like 2 or 3 people left on the list. We'll try to get in touch with them. But everybody outside of the country, we will be taking care of you directly as well. So just look forward to that, me reaching out, contacting you just to verify addresses and all of that kind of stuff prior to me printing shipping labels tomorrow. But outside of that, we're going to go ahead and turn everything over to Miss Lynette so she can share whatever information she has for us this evening and see where we are. Miss Lynette, how are you doing?
I'm doing good. How's everybody doing tonight? Hopefully
Wonderful,
everybody's doing
wonderful.
wonderful. Phew, I'm dragging, I can tell you that. We were 17 hours in the airport or on a plane yesterday. We had 3 different connections, so it's like, okay. So hopefully I'm not going to be too monotone and boring to listen to tonight. I'm going to try to keep it really quick. So regardless, okay, we want to make sure that nobody makes a mistake. So let me just start out with the hatchery first and foremost. Tomorrow, if Waleed has not brought the hatchery live, because there are people whose tokens are able to be claimed, not everybody necessarily is going to move into the golden hatchery. So I don't feel right having that contract paused if he's not ready to take the hatchery live. So we will unpause it if it doesn't go live tomorrow. And those of you that want to claim your MoveQuest from the hatchery, you can do so. Those of you that are going over to the golden hatchery, do not claim them, because if you do, you've got to go in through the nest. So the way these contracts, there's 3 separate contracts. There's the nest hatchery, there's the incubator, and then there's the golden. Let me explain to you what they do. The incubator is going to become more like, which it already is that, but it's going to be really utilized this way. When we first got started with the incubator, we wanted to make sure that everybody got their MoveQuest back, because we would have really taken out way too much from circulation, because our tokenomics are pretty strong right now, and the ecosystem is bought so many of them for future liquidity that we wanted to make sure we didn't end up with a shortage. And then you got an inflated market value, albeit nice. It would have been not supported by liquidity, at a high market value. And that's what you always try to avoid with a lot of these projects. You'll see when they get started, you've seen it with MoveQuest too. MoveQuest boosted way up to $125, and that's normal on a new project. What isn't normal is for that project to still be here stable and steady a year later. Normally what you see is that big spike, and then you see it all drain down and gone. And that's not the MoveQuest ecosystem. And here we are a year later, we're strong and could take the pool completely fluid at this point. But we're just kind of waiting to see what happens with the hatchery so the algorithm does its work. So with the incubator, it is going to not reward 0.001846, okay? Because people are coming in to get the vanguards, and that's where they mint them. They mint them in the incubator. They spend that MoveQuest. That's one of the uses for the MoveQuest. And the future reward, when we bring up all 3 live again, working, conjunctively together, that one is going to reward much less. That's almost like a gift from MoveQuest. Like, here, let us give you a boost. You came in, you minted your vanguards, and you got your vanguards. Those are $175 each. And that would be it in the real world. But what we do is we say, okay, based on the amount that you spend, we're going to let you earn additional MoveQuest every day that you submit. And currently it is 0.001846. So those of you who are already in, you're locked in at that mining reward. But for new people, when they come in, it will be lower. I'm not going to give you the exact amount because I'm still playing with the numbers a little bit to make the algorithm work. It's got to work smoothly. But we're looking at probably like 0.0003. Okay, so it'll be significantly less, but it's still, nonetheless, it's like a cash back reward. Like if you use a Discover card, or if you use your Southwest card to get your airline miles, or American Airlines, whatever, you spend money and then you get like a reward back. That's what the incubator is. You spend money for the vanguards, and we give you MoveQuest rewards. So every time you submit your proof of physical activity and you're mining from the actual mining pool, then you would also be getting that MoveQuest reward for 222 days. That's your ticket into the golden hatchery. Those of you who don't need the vanguards, you can come in through the nest. And that is going to start out with just a 10-day timer, not a 30-day like we had originally had talked. The reason for that is there's a lot of you that are in the incubator right now, and your timer won't be up for another, 20 to 30 days. And so if you want to buy the MoveQuest, or if you have MoveQuest, you'll be able to go in through the nest and you'll be able to earn the daily MoveQuest there. And then you'll be able to go into the golden hatchery. These timers can be adjusted. So even though it's only, we're setting it at 10 days, that doesn't mean that we won't change it to 30 or we won't change it to 60. But it's nice to have that 10-day timer, because those of you who, let's say the golden hatchery is full, for example, you can't cancel. Well, you can cancel the first card in the nest, but if you do, you leave with no reward. Okay, you get your MoveQuest back, but you don't get any of the nest hatching rewards. Only on the first card. But if you are waiting, so we couldn't really do like what we talked about last time, where we were going to create like a waiting room type of a smart contract where you could line up for the golden hatchery. But what it will do is it'll allow you to, when the timer is up on the nest, you'll be able to create a new card or roll it back over to like a second card to have a timer for 10 days. Now, if you cancel in the middle of the 10 days on the second card to move it into the golden hatchery, you'll take all your rewards with you. So you won't be penalized. But if you cancel in the middle of a second card and you don't go into the hatchery, then it would only give you back your MoveQuest. It wouldn't give you any of the rewards. So you have to stay until the timer is up to get the rewards. But if you're on your second, round of 10 days and you're moving into the hatchery and the hatchery becomes available and you want to cancel that second 10-day card in the nest hatchery, you can do so to roll into the golden, and you will take all your rewards with you. So hopefully everybody is clear on that, on the nest hatchery. Okay. The incubator, it is 222 days, and there's nothing to cancel because you don't have anything coming back except the reward. So if you don't submit that day, you don't get the reward. If you submit that day, you do get the reward. But this way, the incubator, that's just really, it's like a perk that you're getting for being a part of the MoveQuest community. So there's nothing there to cancel. You spent the MoveQuest, and that one, it funds itself. So basically, what you're spending on the vanguards, you're basically getting between 20 and 40% back, depending on what percentage we settle on in the morning. Because the algorithm should be done running its final tests here in the middle of the night. Then the golden hatchery is going to have 4 tiers. All 4 tiers auto compound. So you don't have to do that yourself. And it's going to have a limited amount at each tier. Each tier will have a different reward amount, obviously with tier 4 being the highest. And right now, with the compounding, it looks like that level, okay, to make it, I can do it a couple of different ways. If we go with the higher value, much fewer people could make it into tier 4, because we only have a certain amount of MoveQuest that can be mined every day. You have the mining pool, you have the nest, you have the incubator, but the incubator recycles itself. So when you spend the MoveQuest, whatever is in there, it takes care of the reward itself, because you don't get the MoveQuest back because you spent it, but a portion of that MoveQuest stays in there as part of that reward. So the hatchery is not, or the incubator isn't really an issue when it comes to the numbers. The golden hatchery itself, that is, the compounding is pretty crazy. And that one is going to have, let me bring up this. I'm kind of hesitant to show you guys I'll share my screen with you, but I don't have the individual numbers broke down. I just have project wide available. But let me show you that first here real quick. Let me make sure it even shows my screen. Yep, okay, everybody should be able to see it. Back over here. Okay. So this here, I know this looks crazy to everybody. This will be a much simpler for you guys, but for me, it's got just crazy amounts of numbers that have to go through it. All of this here is basically talking about the vanguards. Then this here is project-wide, the nest. So if we put that limit at 150,000, what is the daily hatch for the nest? And that way we know, okay, if there's 150,000 in there, 92 times 10, it's going to take 923 total. And there's plenty in there for that, out of 150,000. So it's not even a concern. Then you've got the nest to the golden, the tier 1, 2, 3, and 4. So right now we're running the test at 150 in tier 1, 150 tier 2, tier 3, tier 4. Same amount all the way across the board for a total of 600,000 MoveQuest tokens that would be able to come into the golden hatchery. Currently, we have about 754,000 tokens, 350 or 60,000 in the incubator that will be able to come out starting, let's say, I think our first day was September 11th on. So every day, there's MoveQuest tokens cards that will, the timers will have completed, and you'll be able to withdraw those, or you'll be able to put them into the golden hatchery. And then if you take the 350,000 that are currently circulating in wallets, that would leave about 150,000 in wallets. Let's just say if everybody said, okay, I'm going into the golden hatchery. The golden hatchery doesn't cost anything. So you don't have to, you're not buying miners here, right? You're just staking your MoveQuest for those MoveQuest rewards. The tier 1, we're looking at, I know at first I had said 60 days. The thing with staking is that you want to make sure that people have access to their tokens if they ever need them right away. And if you cancel in the middle of, the hatchery, it will not give you that reward. It'll only give you back your MoveQuest. So I want to make sure that we have short enough intervals. The nest is 10 days. That might be good enough for some people. Maybe they only want to, stake for the 10 days. In the golden hatchery, we've got the 30-day, we've got 75 days, and then we have, so I have changed it a bit from that PDF I shared with you guys the other day, 135, and then the 210 days. And looking at this, again, remember this is project wide. Over 30 days, if there was 100, was it 100,000 or 150? 150,000. It would reward 2,600 MoveQuest tokens. In tier 2, it would reward 10,451 over the 75 days. And in tier 3, 26,000. Sorry, I got to wipe off my reading glasses so I can read these little numbers. Let me pull this up here a minute. I'm going to make this a little bigger so I can see it. 26,660. And then tier 4, it would reward 70,000 over a 210-day period. That is 7 times more than what you'll get if you did the tier 1, 30 days times 7. It would take you running tier 1 7 times. And then you wouldn't get the full amount, because that would still only equate to about 18,000 tokens, 2,600 times 7. So you're much better off going into tier 4, because it's definitely going to reward the most. Plus, it has the compounding effect. It almost doubles, basically, your MoveQuest, as you can see here. So 220,000 is the reward. And it was, 150? So it's 50. let's say 220, 150, yeah, 70,000. So it's not double, but it's if we do if I increase it a little bit higher than this is what I have to play with, just so you guys know when the algorithm is running. What is the daily mining reward? And then what are the overall hatchery rewards per day? We cannot go over the 3,000. But then the algorithm is going to start reading things, and it's going to start working a little bit differently. And I got to go to a different file. Hold on here. I am going to stop sharing though, because this has got a whole lot of other information that I'm not quite ready to share with everybody yet. But we will here in the next few days, but just not quite ready. So I want to try to explain this as best I can, so that people will understand this and understand it in the most effective way possible, because this is very important. We have a lot of people who we never want to tell a person what to do. And we love it that people like to sell and that you're able to sell. I mean, it's not a bad thing. But what happens is you do have people who are holding, and because this platform is as powerful as it doesn't take next to anything for the MoveQuest to really shoot up and be stable. We have almost 10,000 holders of MoveQuest, but we only have about 4,100 people in our community. You got to think about that. These other projects that you see, they have hundreds of thousands and millions in them. And I'm not just talking about the move to earns, even though the move to earns I can comfortably talk about, because their market value on their tokens are at 5 cents or less. Where MoveQuest, we've had the highest all-time high, and we're still stable. We could go probably up into the $12 to $14 mark very quickly, just with the ecosystem alone. If the selling pressure was a bit better, was lower. But to be stable at the $4 to $5 level, that's amazing. When you figure we have a very, very small, I mean small community. We have an amazing community, don't get me wrong, but you got to think about the numbers. And you think, okay, if you double that, and if you triple that, and you quadruple that, most projects build into hundreds of thousands to millions of people if they're going to be here for many, 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 many years. We're already on our way there. We've been in development for 4 years. If we weren't going to make it, we'd gone already. So that has to tell you one thing. Secondly, the market value is very strong. The liquidity, once these hatcheries go live and you start to see the ecosystem put liquidity in, because you got to remember the hatchery, when people were coming in, you were minting those vanguards. And so there was 20%, I think, in AVAX. You get all your MoveQuest back, but 20% of the AVAX has not been added as liquidity yet. So you'll start to see that go in. So the ecosystem knows it needs to add liquidity. So you'll start to see that based on what people are doing, going into the golden, going, cashing out, selling, whatever. But what the algorithm is going to begin to do, and it's going to, how do I explain this? I hope you guys understand what I'm trying to say. It's going to adjust the daily mining rewards based on the real market activity. So it's going to begin looking at the buying demand. It's going to be looking at the selling pressure. And then it will know what to release into the market mining pool, whether to decrease what can come into the golden hatchery. If there's a demand for the token, then it will decrease what can go into the golden hatchery, because it has to make sure that there's enough MoveQuest circulating and it doesn't get an inflated market value. So everybody can't be in the golden hatchery. But if the selling pressure is really high, then it can adjust what goes out in the daily mining, and it can increase what goes out into the hatchery, if that makes sense. So if you are mining with your proof of physical activity, you want to make sure you're in one of the hatcheries, one of the tiers, so that you're going to get that extra MoveQuest. It won't necessarily, it's like if you come in and you're in for the 210 days, it's not going to adjust down for you. It will lock you in at that market value. Okay, so you're not going to lose if it won't lower it on you, but you could get a bump for a day or for 2 days or whatever. So if it goes down in the mining pool, it can come up in the hatchery pool. It can also adjust fees now based on market pressure. So if you go and you look at, if there's 3,000 MoveQuests going out per day, and you look at the market value, which is 410, it was up over almost the $5 mark here a day or two ago. So let's just say the 3,000 times the 410, that's 12,300. That from submissions covers that liquidity for the day. So if there is more submissions, it can decrease the market or the price for submissions. So more people submitting can bring down the submission fee. If the market value is higher and the selling pressure is high and there isn't, it's not meeting what it should be from what's being held in the hatchery, from evolution, from all, it can adjust that fee and it can bring it up or it can bring it down. So it's going to start, reading all details. What's going on in the evolution? How much is being staked in any of the hatcheries? What is the daily engagement? Is it up? Is it down? Is the market value up? Is the market value down? If it puts more into, if it allows more users into the golden hatchery with an increased amount for staking, then that means the selling pressure is high. And so what that does is it decreases what's being mined daily, reducing the selling pressure organically, but rewarding it over in the golden hatchery to make sure that the MoveQuest is there when people are coming out of the golden hatchery. And then that would obviously be when the market value is high. If you're in the golden hatchery or the nest, you're holding your MoveQuest. So if it's just sitting in your wallet, if you put it in the smart contract where the staking is taking place, then you're putting that MoveQuest to work for you. So what do you care, right? You're happy to get it in the proof of physical activity. You're happy to get it in the golden hatchery. People who aren't staking it are just selling it. And selling it is fine, but selling it responsibly for a new project when the liquidity can support it is what is the best, right, for the project. It doesn't matter if you sell. If you like the $4 market value, that's great, but not everybody does. A lot of people would like to see that market value go up. And, people are attracted to markets that move up. They're not always attracted to markets that move down. And because it is a mining project, a miner mines the tokens to hold them for when there's a demand. So if you're selling them when there isn't a demand, then of course that's going to have an impact on the market value. It's not going to hurt the project, okay, as far as stability goes, but it isn't helping it either. It's not keeping it strong as it's not forcing the market value up. The community, when it oversells, is just saying, okay, this market value doesn't bother me, which is fine. I like the market value. I think market value is appropriate for the size of the community that we have. But if you want the market value to go up with growth, new growth likes to see green candles. They haven't been here mining for a year and don't understand, how the ecosystem works, what that selling pressure is. So the ecosystem will start to manage that on a different level now. And it's not going to be like huge drastic drops. Now you will see a decrease in the mining pool because the golden hatchery gets a percentage of that, but it still stays within that 3,000 MoveQuest tokens. So you can utilize them in several places. You can be in the nest, you can be in the incubator, you can be in tier 1, 2, 3, and 4. It's totally up to you where you go. When I make the calculator available to you guys, hopefully we'll be able to put it on site so you can just mess around with it on the site because it's kind of hard to get your hands on like a spreadsheet and try to figure out what that spreadsheet is telling you. It is very lucrative, the mining pools. And so those of you that plan on staking, they always say buy as low as you can, sell as high as you can. So while the market value is here, it's a good time to buy them for staking. The staking is done. So the staking, it's funny because Waleed laughs at me. So I tell him, this ain't rocket science. He's like, oh no, it almost is rocket science because this is not your typical crypto project. Nobody has done this. And your staking is not staking. Your staking is like, you know, he said it's like sci-fi off in another world, which, all of these three contracts have to communicate with each other. There's multiple tiers. There's multiple types of rewards. There's multiple ways of doing this, plus the auto compounding. I didn't want to have people have to come in because that's extra gas fees on you guys. Every time you have to claim. So if you had to claim every day and then add it to your balance, you'd have to pay gas fees each time. So even though the ecosystem has fees, we really do try to keep it as low as possible on the fee side of things. And so to have that auto compounding feature in there, there's just a lot of things that this hatchery does that your typical staking platforms don't do. So poor Waleed, I really do feel bad for him. I know I'm making him lose his mind, but the way it works is very dynamic. It's very different and it's very lucrative. And it works within the ecosystem in a very strong way. It gives the holders the rewards. The more you're staking in the hatcheries, obviously, the more rewards you're going to get. It'll auto compound on its own. You've got several different types of hatcheries, so you can pick and choose the one you like the best. The least amount of time spent in the hatchery gets obviously the lower daily reward. Those who are committed to the longer hatchery times get the highest reward. Why? Because you're taking, I know because I created this, right? I know what it can do, and I don't have any doubts in my mind, nor do I have any, I'm not worried about anything. But for those of you who have been burnt in how many projects over the years of crypto, you are apprehensive. And so, you could be thinking, well, I don't know if I want to lock these up for 210 days. It could be scary to you to do that. What if the market value goes up while I'm in here and I can't get my MoveQuest back? Well, you can get it back. You would just cancel. The problem is you wouldn't get the rewards because you have to complete the timer. It's not fair. For example, if you're in tier 4 and let's say on day 150, you want to cancel, should you get your 150 days worth of rewards? Well, to you, you might think yes. But to the person who went through the whole 75 days on tier 3, they're thinking, or whatever it was on tier 3. I have to go back and look real quick. I can't even remember because these things are so, I have to go check my spreadsheets out all the time with these crazy numbers. 135 days. Somebody else had to go 135 days and they had to wait till their timer was done. They took all their rewards plus their MoveQuest, but you're tier 4 and you want to cancel on day 135, you got more than double the reward if we would release the reward on an early cancel. And it's not fair. Plus, this keeps it competitive, and you choose what time frame that you want. So we are making, those of you who've been here for a long time, you already know the project. You trust me, you trust the project. You know the platform is strong, so you don't have any worries about the 210 days. But some of your newer people, they might not know. They don't know me. They don't know, how we operate or how, we pay attention to detail and what the project is. So they may want to test it first, do the 10-day nest or do the 30 days or the 75 days. So those reward less, they have less days, but the tier 4, that obviously is going to pay the highest and it's going to be the most rewarding. But don't discount the other tiers. Those are still really good. As soon as the hatcheries I was telling you about Waleed having the test. So he did all the simulations and then he did like the real world tests where you actually are using the crypto. I mean, it's test AVAX. It's not your real dollar value, but in an actual test site using the actual test crypto. And there were still some bugs in it. It wasn't coming back with the right values that we wanted on the auto compounding. That's probably one of the most difficult parts is the auto compounding. Smart contracts are designed to do not real deep thinking type of jobs when you're talking about retrieving data, hundreds and thousands of blocks back, and these ones do. And so if they come back a little bit frigidy, we got to do them until they come back perfect. And we have to do them so they can scale, they can adjust within my algorithm, make sure that, you know, if this is the market value and this is the selling pressure and this is what the buying demand is, this is what the reward should be. It should be higher, it should be lower. You know, it has to adjust this, it has to adjust that. All this stuff has to work on the back side of things. So all of your smart contracts where you operate your side of the move to earn platform, which is everything that pays instant and in real time every time you make a call to a contract. And in the background, there's almost 5 million lines of code that's managing all of the infrastructure of this ecosystem and its platform. And so that's what we're testing right now. And it's good. Like, it, where there's no doubt, he thought he could bring it up even tonight, maybe for the call. And I told him not to stress over that. I don't like putting him under that kind of pressure. Tomorrow is just fine. Once that comes up, and I'm confident that it'll be tomorrow, but remember, let's just say it's another day or so, and we unpause that incubator. If you plan on going into the golden hatchery, whatever you do not claim your MoveQuest. If you do, there is no way to get you into the golden hatchery. I can't even do it. Like, the contract is written specifically to do a job. And that job is to only allow wallets in from the nest or the incubator. So if you leave the incubator and you don't go right directly to the nest or to the golden hatchery, you've got to go in through the nest, just so you know. Wait until the golden comes up. You don't have to stake everything. Gotta say you only want to stake a percentage of it or a portion of it. Wait until that golden hatchery is there so that you can put that in the field. I want to put X amount in the golden, and I'm going to claim X amount so that you don't have to move it all if you don't want to. So wait for that hatchery, just so you know, because if somebody comes back later and they're upset, well, nobody told me. Please listen to the video. Please share the video, or make sure everybody's got a note somewhere. We'll put it up there as well on the hatchery. You know, if you claim and you don't, you know, roll into the golden, it disqualifies you for the golden. You have to start back at zero. You have to go through the nest, which is why we're going to do the 10-day nest, because I already know without a doubt we'll have at least 10% of the people that do that. And then they're going to come into support. Nobody told me. Well, I didn't know. I didn't mean to push the button. I was just looking at it. I don't know what happened. I didn't touch a thing. I never touched my keyboard. And somehow all the MoveQuest just got in my wallet. You guys, the craziest stuff comes in to us. You would not even believe it. There will be absolutely nothing I can do, even if I want to. Absolutely. I can't even go into that golden hatchery without coming through the incubator. I don't need Vanguards. I don't need Titans or any of that stuff right now. I had to go in through the incubator. I can show you guys my cards. I've got 4 cards running with my MoveQuest so that I too can go into the hatchery. I am no different than you guys when it comes to this platform. I have to do everything you have to do. I have to buy MoveQuest if I want them. I have to mine them if I want them. The project cannot sell them, and I don't get special perks behind the scenes. Everything is transparent, on chain, and I had to come through the incubator. If I can't even get myself in the golden hatchery, you know for sure I can't get you in there. So you have to be you have to pay attention. The miners, okay. So the boosts and the power-ups. The boosts and the power-ups are ready to go. We want to get the hatchery done first. Then we will release the boost. One question that people keep asking several times, I've answered it. Not on a call, but I have in the different chats. There is one way to get into the hatchery, and that's using your MoveQuest. And the more MoveQuests that you have in the hatchery, the higher your rewards in the hatchery. claiming your MoveQuest is not a big mark on the power or the leveling up of your miners. It's very insignificant. So when people ask me, should I not claim and let it, work for my power up on my miner, I say claim it and put it in the hatchery. It doesn't cost you anything to go into the hatchery if you're going to do like tier 3 or 4. If you're not going to do tier 3 or 4, you're going to just do 1 or 2, tier 1 or 2, I would probably wait until you see what the exact daily reward is, and then see if that mining power is going to make that big of a difference. Once you get it way up, boosted up to that 1,000%, yeah, it would make a difference. But just to claim what you have there, okay, for me, I have 140 days. If I claim those, and I'll have to check with Waleed and see, do I get 1% per 10? Okay, so like if I waited and I claimed, I have a group of 10. Is it, just and I'm going to use 1%. Is it 1% per 10 days, or is it 10% for 10 days? I have to clarify what that's going to be. If you have a bunch of days that are, stacked up, like I have 140. Is it going to give me 140% boost on my mining power? Or is it just going to give me 14%? I'm just giving you that as an example. If it's just going to give me the 14%, I'm probably, and now my days are probably up to almost 200 days. But if it's, going to give me 20%, I would probably just claim a MoveQuest and put it into the rewards hatchery, because if you're in tier 4, you're going to almost double your MoveQuest in 210 days. So you kind of have to weigh it out. Plus, not only that, but the power up on your miners, there's going to be many, many, many ways to boost the power on your miners. Okay. So I would, if it was me, I would probably claim my MoveQuest and put it in the golden hatchery. Just straight up honest with you. That's probably what I would do, because I don't think it's going to be that big of a deal on your mining power. Because every time you submit, we'll have it where even when you post on social media, if you submit for the BMed token, there's going to be all these ways for you to increase the mining power. And so the claiming, that's just one way. So it's not just restricted to the claims. And honestly, I don't really even know if we want to do anything on the claims, because if you claimed, it was supposed to take something like a percentage away or something like that. And I've been thinking on that, and I really don't like that. If you don't submit for a day, then you lose a point on a submit. But claiming, I don't really think that should be part of the power ups. That's just my personal opinion. I haven't really talked to the core team or gotten anybody else's opinion, but I mean, those are your MoveQuest tokens. You've mined them. If you want them, you should be able to claim them, and it shouldn't have an adverse effect on your mining power. That's what you're doing, you're mining. So I most likely will probably remove that from the configuration on the boost. So once the hatcheries come up, the boosts will come up. The leasing, it is done. You will see it in the back office. I have to finish running some simulations to see what needs to take place within the community for that to be a competitive market. And then I'll be able to let you guys know where we're at specifically on when that can start. The only thing left for MoveQuest's 4-year roadmap is the challenges. We will be introducing Roadmap Part 2, our second roadmap, which will share with you what we'll be doing over the next 3 years. We have a whole lot, but the infrastructure part is done. Basically, anything that we're doing after the original roadmap is complete is more gamification. We got a ton of gamification type of stuff that will be coming in. It'll make it a lot of fun, interactive for users. It won't just be about your physical activity. When you're out and about walking, you'll be able to, find tokens in the air, in the sky, or treasure hunts, type of things like that. We got a lot of things that will be coming into the MoveQuest space. We're working on different fitness trainers, different things like that. Our events that we'll be holding, different charity events and fitness events too. Lots of different things. So that's what we'll be hoping to start at the end of the year. Once we get this part of the roadmap done, not the challenges, pre-challenges, we will be bringing the Binance chain up to par to where the Avalanche chain is. There's a lot of updates that have to be done over there. We'll be burning 80% of the GFAM token that is there. We'll be readjusting the fees, making sure that everybody has got their miners. And so you can be looking for that probably, I would say, mid to end November, but definitely before Christmas. So you'll be able to be mining on both of those blockchains. Those of you who are already mining on the Avalanche chain will be getting your miners for the Binance Smart Chain. You won't have to pay for those. Trying to think if I have any other updates. So I'm glad you guys are being patient on the hatchery. This is a big deal. Wally thought he was done with it, ready to go, put it on the real test net, and it had some issues. And this is, when I tell you guys that this is extremely complex, I know you guys, when I say it's complex, I mean like code-wise. Everything that has been put into this infrastructure is super complex. And, you know, if one contract isn't communicating properly with another contract, it throws up a bug. And because of how much code there is behind this, it does take some time to run these tests. And even if they pass on the simulator, when you start running them in the main net, or in the test net, but more of like a real-time type test, you can't really fix, like, you have to manually do the testing on that at that point, because you got to start, now you got to go through the code, you got to find what isn't doing what it needs to be doing and get it fixed. Sometimes it's quick, sometimes it's not. This part here doesn't have to go through an Apple update, so as soon as it's ready to go live, it will. It's just a matter of getting, you know, the UI, user interface, and everything else tied into it. So for me, it's a huge relief, because I'm almost looking at this like, I really have to come up with that roadmap 3 and or roadmap 2 and get that ready, because we're almost that close. Like, I didn't know if I'd ever see this day. I didn't know if this day would ever get here, but it's almost here. So now I'm starting to get excited about getting to the fun stuff, you know, get the infrastructure stuff out of the way. And now we can start focusing on, you know, all of the fun stuff, creating the avatars, your wallet addresses that you're mining with. It's going to take a string from your wallet address. It's going to generate an avatar for you. All of those will be NFTs. They'll be meant, you know, in real time. They'll all be unique. They'll all be different. Just lots of fun stuff that's coming. And you'll be able to trade those as well. So yeah, lots of fun stuff. But I think that's all I got, Herschel and Hayden. Was there any, I don't want to spend, I'm so tired, you guys. I don't know if I could read these questions anyway. My eyes are like going blank. Okay, so I went over those of you that had compromised wallets. Okay, so what we're going to do with those is you will have to come into Zoom, I'm assuming, because we're going to have to make sure that we see who we're dealing with and that we actually are, you know, rerouting these where they're supposed to be. We are blocking all of the wallets that we know for a fact were hacked, but we aren't releasing anything until we're certain that they're not being released to, you know, somebody who wasn't supposed to get them. Now, I got to let you guys know, once this hatchery is done, once the, you know, mining boost and all this stuff is done, at that point in time, on that very day when we say, okay, everything is done but the challenges, we will no longer be able to help people who have things happen to their wallets, okay? If you make a mistake, if you click on a link you shouldn't click on, we just can't do it. For one, it's borderline, how do you want to say it? I don't like doing it, because how do I really know that you're telling us the truth and that you're not the hacker? Okay, what if somebody was to come to me and say, I was hacked, and you're the hacker, you know what I mean? You got your hands on their private key, whatever. I don't like doing it. It's just that I've gotten to know many of you. My sister Kathleen, who does customer support, has gotten to know you. Herschel has gotten to know you. Many of you have come in through, being referred, or, it's been shared with you. And so we are able to really tell. We haven't gone out and started that mass marketing, but the minute we do, we won't know who people are. We won't have met you. We will not have seen you on a Zoom. We will not have had a conversation with you. We won't be able to have somebody verify that you are actually that person. And so at that point, we have to cut that off, because I don't ever want to be the reason that somebody lost something who wasn't supposed to lose it because I was told they lost it and never had, if that all makes sense. So once we get this hatchery piece done and we get that all squared around, for those of you that did have the compromised wallets, that is it. If you lose it, I am so sorry, but there will be nothing that we can do, because when the marketing starts, when the advertising is going out, I don't know these people coming in and I can't verify it. So we are making sure that everybody up to that point is taken care of, though. To get to the next level. How are we going to get to the next level, Charlie? People are going to love MoveQuest. They're going to let that market value go up, and the world is going to be so impressed with all of these green candles and all the weight that everybody is losing and all of those hatchery rewards, and everybody is just shouting from the rooftops, MoveQuest, MoveQuest, MoveQuest. And guess what? That's when you're going to see MoveQuest move, because if you're all sitting around waiting on me to do it, I'm behind the scenes getting everything ready so you can do it. And yes, we will do our marketing, but we rely on the community. It's a community-driven project. The Golden Hatchery is awesome. Hypothetically, the amount is 600,000 max for the Golden Hatchery. Does that include the rewards and the compound in MoveQuest 2, for example? No, it does not. It doesn't include the compound. It just includes the deposit amount. So it looks at what the deposit is. It does not look at what the compound is. You can split 2 different tiers. Okay, so the global stats, because we've been updating all of these contracts, I'm not sure that Waleed has updated the global stats on the actual Web3 itself. I will ask him, and we'll get those updated. I don't think there's been, I'm kind of behind because I was in Arizona for the weekend for my dad's 80th birthday, but I'm getting caught up today. I spent a lot of time getting caught up. You can be in all 4 tiers simultaneously, absolutely, and that's what I would do. For some of you, if you don't want to have everything locked up for the 210 days, I would put some in the 30 days, some in the 75 days, some in the 135 day, and some in the 210. At least that, and you can cancel, but if you break it into the different tiers, at least if you think you might need them, you can, the timer will end sooner on some of those other tiers. Okay, so no. The Golden Hatchery rewards, they don't come from the daily mining pool. We have, per our tokenomics, an allotted amount of token that can be distributed daily. And so, so I guess kind of, yeah. So of that 3,000, you will see a decrease in the daily mining pool, and you'll see the increase in the hatchery. Now, as the community starts to grow, we're still not distributing the max amount that we could. We have a min, we have a max. And so it'll adjust itself. But absolutely, yes, it is going to have an effect on the actual daily mining pool. So as the community is growing, that's a big deal. I will show you guys. I did the numbers the other day. I ran them while I didn't feel like sitting out by the pool. My sister and Michael were out there, and I was inside playing around with my calculator. I was like, whoa, this Golden Hatchery is the bomb. For those of you that are, staking those tokens, there won't be this overselling, that selling pressure. So yes, that is, to answer your question appropriately, it is coming from the daily allotted amount. So when you submit, you can get from multiple pools, not just the proof of physical activity. And that's going to cut down on the selling pressure drastically. Oh yeah, I do have the hatcheries figured out. I love this stuff. I know I drive Waleed nuts, but I love problems like this. It's not a problem. What am I trying to say? I love numbers to the point to manipulate them to do exactly what you need them to do. Numbers are a beautiful thing. Nope, you do not have to go into the incubator first. The incubator is an option. The incubator is how you mint vanguards. Okay, if you don't need vanguards, you just go in through the nest and it's 10 days. If you need vanguards, you buy the vanguards by minting them there. You pay to mint, and then whatever you spent to mint, you get that daily. It's not cash back, but it's like crypto back, like cash back rewards. So no, you don't have to go in through the incubator. You can just go in through the nest. Yeah, don't overthink it. Exactly, Chris. Me, don't overthink it, right? Is that what you're saying? Me not to overthink it? Don't. Oh yeah, I know, but I'll be honest with you, Chris. Talking to the community and hearing their feedback sometimes turns the light bulb on or makes me rethink something and turn that light bulb off that maybe shouldn't have come on. So that collaboration is really good because a lot of people have a lot of really good ideas and feedback. Okay, so if we do the event in Florida, it will be the weekend of the 5th. I will be able to let you guys know next week 100% for sure if that is going to take place or not. Yes, there is a marketplace. When the leasing is the marketplace, and you will be able to also swap your what do you call it? Miners. You'll be able to trade them for other miners. You'll be able to sell them. You'll be able to do whatever you want with them. I'm not sure if Binance is available in Canada. There for a while, Binance wasn't even available in the United States, as far as I knew, for withdrawals, and now I guess you can. So I have to go look at my Binance account. I haven't used it in almost 2 years. And Binance will be done before the challenges are completed and before the end of the year, 100%. Because by the end of the year, we want to have MoveQuest roadmap complete, and then we can start on roadmap 2. Is this what Lynette was talking about? Not claiming in order to go into the building? No. If you've got MoveQuest to claim from your proof of physical activity, that has nothing to do with the hatcheries at all. We're talking about the incubator. Right now we have the incubator contract paused because we didn't want people to mistakenly claim when that button goes live, because if they don't know that by claiming, it will block them from the golden hatchery. I didn't want to have to deal with people getting upset about it. But then on the same note, I'm sitting here thinking, okay, but now I got people that may not want to be in the golden hatchery and they may want their MoveQuest, and I've got it paused to protect people who might accidentally claim when I may have people that want to purposely claim. So that will be on pause 100% for sure tomorrow, regardless if the golden hatchery actually goes live or not, because it's not fair to pause that and not let people have access to tokens when the timer has been clear.
Can I come in on that one quick second,
Yeah.
Lynette, just because I know for clarification's sake, because that'll be a question that comes up. In reference to your proof of physical activity and having MQT available to claim, what she was addressing earlier was if it was better off for a person to leave that there and get the increased power in their miners that's coming, or to actually claim those tokens, have them come back to their wallet, and then be able to put them into the nest. That's the claiming.
Right, and my answer.
Yeah.
Yep, this was a different question that somebody else had asked. But the first question that the lady had asked, I can't remember what her name was. My suggestion is this: to go ahead and claim your tokens from your proof of physical activity, because I have already decided on this call that we're not going to use the claim as a ding against your mining power. You should be able to claim your tokens without it dinging your mining power. So don't even have to worry about that. That's not even going to be an issue, because I'm not going to have them add that to it. I just don't think I wouldn't like it if somebody did it to me, so I'm not going to do that. Yes, the first event will be in Florida. So there is a Bitcoin event in Miami. However, I would like to have our event in Delray Beach at the Delray Sands Resort. Those of you that want to go look that up, it's an opal resort. So as far as the reserved MoveQuest goes, I did talk with the developers about that, and they were not real excited about that. So we have Waleed, and then I talked to a few other crypto developers that I also work with on different things. But I'm digging into that deeper, and we'll see. As far as the reserve goes, why that would have an adverse effect on the hatchery. So I have to still have that meeting, and that is scheduled for Friday at 1 o'clock. So I'll be able to let you know after that what we decide. Will fees still be changed? Okay, so I have to migrate the current liquidity pool, which is the V3 on Uniswap. No, I'm sorry, I can never say it. Sushi Swap to the V4. And we will start to do that in increments. Okay, so the pool will be created so that it will reflect the actual market value of the token, and then we'll move the liquidity over. It'll probably take us about 2 weeks to move it all over. I'm not going to do anything with it probably for the next couple of weeks until the hatcheries are done, because we have quite a bit of liquidity to go into the pool, and I'd rather do it. I may just take liquidity that's sitting there that when it comes from the algorithm, when it triggers to do the deposit, and move it to the new pool instead of the current pool. So there'll be 2 pools running, and then eventually what we'll do is just phase out and close that original pool. But nobody will, it won't affect anybody right away. So we're probably looking at that being completed, I would say mid-October to the end of October. But we are absolutely moving to the V4 pool. And that will stop those micro trades because it won't be worth it to them to do it. And so that will get rid of a lot of bot trading that goes on. I'm not 100% sure on that, Maggie. So I'm looking at what is the compound and what is the amount. I have to be really careful with the amount of token, and I have to make sure that it works within the max amount per tier. We want to make sure that that there's enough room in tier 4 for those who want to utilize it because it's the highest paying, but still be competitive enough that you have to, keep your spot if you want to stay there. So I'll be able to let you know for sure on the values shortly. We have to make sure that if I had it my way, I would only have 500 a day going through the mining pool. That's it. That's all I would have in there right now. And the rest would be rewarded through the hatchery. Why? Because we haven't had the explosive growth that we need to justify even 2,500 a day going out through the mining pool. I would rather have 500 a day go through the mining pool and the rest go in the hatchery and really beef that hatchery up where those are being held. But I've had people come back and tell me if you do that, 90% of your community will stop being engaged. I don't know if that's the case or not. My brain says, really? I wouldn't stop. I'd be all over that. I'd be all over that. I'd be submitting all the time because I know that market value is going to explode and that everything I'm holding is going to have massive market value for me when I come out of those hatcheries. That's just me. But then I listen to other people and they're like, yeah, but that's not how everybody thinks. And then they're going to say, well, it's not worth it to submit. And I said, well, and I told the developers, I said, you need to give everybody a tally of what they're actually mining because the mining pool is just one pool. And that is your proof of physical activity. The hatcheries are also pools. And so if you're in all of the hatcheries, for example, plus you're submitting that proof of physical activity, give you a tally of what you're mining every single day. So you can add it up. Then you know if it's worth it because you don't get the hatchery rewards unless you submit. So you may only be mining a half a MoveQuest in the daily mining, but you could be mining 4 or 5 a day over in the golden hatchery. Okay, now that submission is worth it to you. Granted, it's got a timer on it, but it's giving the liquidity and the market time to increase in its value. And so to me, that's what I would do. I would love to get the community's feedback on that. And then think about it like this. I have I hear people say this stuff. I have to bite my tongue sometimes. Well, I sell to submit because that way, I'm not coming out of pocket. Well, the fees that you are being charged to submit don't equal what goes out a day in market value. The reason the ecosystem stays stable is because there's other features within the ecosystem. You've got the evolution, you've got the hatcheries, you've got the vanguard minting, you've got the leasing that's coming up, you've got the boost that's coming up, you got the challenges, you got all these different features. All of that stuff plays into liquidity as well. If I just look at the submissions, because that is the constant, okay, every day doesn't mean that everybody is evolving every day, or that everybody is unlocking dock slots every day, or that everybody is going to a hatchery, or everybody is minting vanguards daily. When the community starts to grow, all that activity will be taking place. Then it won't matter because there's plenty in this ecosystem for liquidity, more than enough. But when the community is not really had that explosive growth yet, and you're just looking at the submission as the constant, then you're selling more than what the community is supporting to cover what that daily amount of MoveQuest is as being mined. So I always look at everything as 100% being sold. What is that market value to the 100% being sold? And 100% isn't sold every day, but I use it that way so that I have worst case scenario. And if everybody is only submitting and there's no other activity going on in the ecosystem, where does that leave the pool? And that's where you're looking at like a 40%, it's a 40% deficit from just the submission. Now, you take in unlocking dock slots and all the other features, and that covers all of that. It picks up and actually is more than that, but we just need to see that growth, and then you'll start to see that turn around. But if the algorithm says, okay, today it's 500 in the mining pool, and then it banks X amount for the whole hatchery, you're going to see that selling pressure go away. You're going to see the market value go up. So now people who have to sell 3 MoveQuests to cover, let's say, a week's worth of submissions or 2 weeks worth of submissions, only has to sell a portion of a MoveQuest to cover a month's worth of submissions, because you let the market value go up. So now you get to hold most of your MoveQuest. You only have to sell a tiny bit of it to cover your submission, because the fees don't go up with the market value. The fees stay the same. So we can force it through the ecosystem to adjust what's in the mining pool, and we can make this puppy shoot, or we can just leave it like it is, and it'll just, hoblob along until, we see that growth. So feedback, from you guys would be great over the next day or two. Let us know what you think. Talk to your, people you've shared it with, because we don't want to see 90% step submitting, because it would take a good solid probably 30 days to really see the impact it would have. But that 30 days, the impact that it would have is huge. So you guys let me know what you think on that. If you're going to stake more from your wallet that's not in the incubator, you have to come through the nest. We weren't able to, I know I told you guys in the beginning that I would like you to be able to do, even if it was a percentage, like 15% above what was in the incubator or whatever. It was impossible. It was confusing the contracts way too much. It was too much computation inside a smart contract. So I just told them to leave that out. And that's why the nest is only that 10 days. To just so you guys don't have to wait a super long time. A says, yeah, do it 500. I would do it all day long, you guys. 500 a day. Just even, it would only take a few weeks to put it down to 500. And then you could bump it up to 600, to 700, to 1,000. And by then, the community's kind of trained at that point, like, ooh, you know what I mean? If they understood what the ecosystem was doing, and if I could write it into the algorithm, and you guys were all on board with it, I'm telling you right now, this puppy would be on fire. Hatchery and movement. Let me see, what is he saying? Spend every day and just assume you're making a bank. Yes, that's what this is, you guys. Bank that stuff. People can't believe the Bitcoin that I hold on to and still to this day don't sell it, because I know Bitcoin's going to 1 million. Bitcoin will hit $1 million. And I am not touching my Bitcoin. And I know for a fact what MoveQuest is going to do. There's no way that this project isn't going to take off. It's the most solid project in the crypto space and long term for doing what you already do every day, just moving. MoveQuest will hit Bitcoin prices. Mark my words, it will. I wouldn't sell a single one of my MoveQuest tokens. That's like the craziest thing in the world. What? Spend a couple dollars a day submitting? I mean, that's like better than putting it in the bank. Oh yeah. And then Ron's reminding me it's not even the 50%, but there are, what is there? 3,000 to 7,200 a day is the max that can go out in the first 4 years for MoveQuest, right? We're only at 3,000. That's what Ron's talking about. Like there's massive banked MoveQuest that we can't even put into the circulation right now. Can you imagine if we did that? That's why all these projects tank on their market value because they put too much in circulation. I always tell everybody you don't need crazy amounts of token in circulation. Okay, so once a person comes out of the incubator and goes into the hatchery, what are we claiming physical activity on? Okay, so you're not in an incubator. When you get started in MoveQuest, you have to have miners. Trailblazers you get for free when you unlock dock slots. They have 100% mining power. Vanguards have 200% mining power, and if you want those, you can get those one of two ways. One, you can evolve your Trailblazers to Vanguards through our evolution feature, or you can mint them in the incubator. You get your Vanguards right away, you dock them so you can start mining. And then MoveQuest just gives you MoveQuest. Every day that you submit your proof of physical activity to the blockchain, there's a mining pool. Every day you submit, that's that daily mining reward that you get. The first 48 hours, because there's a delay because of the time zones. But once the first 40 hours is up, you can claim it every day if you want to. But every day that you do submit, whatever hatchery you're in, you're getting bonus MoveQuest rewards as well. But those are on a timer. It's staking your current MoveQuest. So you would take, let's say if you have 100 MoveQuest tokens and you deposit them into the nest or coming out of the incubator into the golden, there's a timer and you lock them in a smart contract for however many days you decide on each, whatever level you go into. And every single day that you submit, that's a bonus MoveQuest reward that you're getting. And then when the timer completes, it unlocks and you're able to claim all your MoveQuest plus your rewards back to your wallet. That's a second form of a pool. But from your proof of physical activity, that's all your movement. That's that daily mining pool. Nope, can't put the reserve in there. What I'm trying to do is pull all my MoveQuest into the golden hatchery for my proof of physical activity in my wallet. Will I be able to do that to max out? You have to come in through the nest first, Ralph. And the nest and the goldens are free. Okay, just so everybody understands this. There are no fees, blockchain fees, whatever the contract fee is, that's a few pennies. But there is no ecosystem fee. Why? Because you're staking them, you're taking them out of circulation, you're telling us you're not going to sell them. And so there is no in-app fee on those features.
One thing I want to add real quick, Lynette, because I've had this question about 7 times this evening. I just want to make sure we're totally clear when it comes to the hatcheries. And I understand why there may be some confusion because of many people entered the existing incubator hatchery. No miners are in the hatchery. Only MQT is and always has been able to go into the hatchery. The incubator hatchery, however, just allowed you to take the value of a Vanguard or a Navigator or whatever miner you went into. It allowed you to take the equivalent value of one of the miners and put it into the hatchery, and you received a free miner in return for that at that time. That's it. So the MQT that you put into that hatchery, you are actually getting back. And you have the choice whether to claim that and put that MQT back in your wallet, or to actually take that and put it into the golden hatchery. But if you claim it and you want it to go into the hatchery, that cannot be reversed. And you will have to take it and put it into the nest hatchery, let that one mature, and then move it from there directly into the golden hatchery. So you can still get into the golden hatchery. You'll just have to take another path and wait, almost like going in the penalty box. You have to wait
Yep,
for
10
it
days.
to mature to then get there, or what have you. So that's what Lynette was referring to when there's nothing she can do if you accidentally hit claim. You can't go directly into the golden hatchery. You have to come either directly from the existing incubator hatchery, the new nesting hatchery, to get to the golden hatchery. And there are no minors in any of the hatcheries, just tokens. The minors were basically gifted to you when you put money or put MQT into the hatchery initially.
Well, yeah, and we did that because, okay, so like I explained, the actual hatchery itself, the incubator, when you guys got started, the first like 350,000 tokens that are in that incubator hatchery, there was an amount of MoveQuest that you deposited and an amount of AVAX, and that was the MoveQuest was what it would cost. The MoveQuest and AVAX combined is what it would cost to mint or evolve a Vanguard through the evolution contract. Now, we gave those to you anyway because we wanted you guys to understand that once we no longer give the MoveQuest back, it's a spend. It's a feature, it's an ecosystem feature for new people to get started with Vanguards or existing people to acquire Vanguards. They would come in through the incubator, they spend the MQT. That's how MoveQuest comes back in through the ecosystem for liquidity. We don't spend it for anything. It's just liquidity. So let's say I'm new to MoveQuest. I come in, I unlock my mining dock slots, I got my free trailblazers, but I want Vanguards. I have two choices. I can go to the evolution contract and I can evolve my trailblazer up to a Vanguard, or I can go into the incubator. I can spend my MoveQuest. So if I use the evolution, I'm going to spend USDT. We may be changing that over to MQT too, by the way. The more MoveQuest that's being used through the ecosystem, the better. There's enough that comes in through the mining dock slots, through submissions to cover the 50% add to the MoveQuest. So you may see that change over the next week or two in the evolution contract. I'm still running the data on that to see the impact it would have. But using the evolution you would use MoveQuest, or maybe give you the choice MoveQuest or USDT, but either way. Because then people don't have to sell MoveQuest to evolve. They just use their MoveQuest to evolve, and it just comes back in through the system, and it becomes liquidity. So the more use for the MoveQuest, the better. But then, anyway, so you can evolve Trailblazers up to Vanguards, but it costs you the same. Whether you evolve from a Trailblazer to Vanguard, or you go to the incubator and you spend the MoveQuest and the AVAX to get your Vanguard. The difference is this. If you use the evolution, you lose the Trailblazers because you are trading them in. You're evolving those up to Vanguards. So you no longer have the 18, let's say you have the 18, you no longer have 18 Trailblazers if you evolved all 18 up to 18 Vanguards. But if you come in through the incubator, you spend the same, you get the Vanguards instantly, you keep your Trailblazers, and you're earning MoveQuest every single day that you submit for 222 days in the incubator. Now you've got 18 Trailblazers to lease, you've got 18 Vanguards, and you're getting MoveQuest rewards so that when the incubator timer is done, you can take those mining rewards and you can move them right to the golden hatchery, or you can claim them to your wallet. So those are the differences between the two. But those of you who got started in the very beginning with the actual hatchery, a lot of you didn't have vanguards. A lot of you would have had to spend more money to get those vanguards. And because you'd been here for the whole year, this was our way of saying thank you again. Here you go. Stake your MoveQuest. Lock it up for the 210 days. Earn on what you staked. And we're going to give you the vanguards just as if you had paid for it. But we're going to give you everything back. You're going to get all your MoveQuest back, and you're going to get all your reward back. Then we let you guys know when that was ending. And all of you got in that hadn't been in. And there was the new contract. Everybody was migrated from the original hatchery into the current incubator, which doesn't give those ones back to the new people when that cutoff date was. And there wasn't a whole lot. I think there's only like 50,000 MoveQuests in there past that. Now, when we migrate these new contracts in, it will simply just be the reward. You'll get your vanguards and you get to earn for 222 days. So those of you who come in, all the stuff that's taking place is for the new, the new contracts that are going live with all three hatcheries working together. You will get all your MoveQuest back. That didn't change for you guys. So I think I went through all the questions. I mean, if you guys talk to everybody who's in the community and you don't think there's going to be negative feedback, I would love to bump that mining pool down to 500 a day for 30 days. And in the next 45 to 60 days, you guys would see MoveQuest on the low $75 to $80, but almost for certain. And this is without the community even growing over $100. And it can sustain itself there. Why? Because you guys haven't oversold the token. It's locked up in the hatcheries. You're earning those rewards. You see the green candles. People love to see green candles. They're going to start wondering, what is MoveQuest? Why is the market value? Why is it like this? How is this working? Green attracts people. Red detracts people. I could switch this puppy up in a New York minute, as long as the community understands what I'm doing. But see, we only get 300 to 500 people on these calls, and we've got 4,100 people who are engaged. So I've got 3,900 people that aren't here to say that they would still be happy with that. So I'm nervous about doing it, because when I said what I wanted to do, I did get a lot of that feedback going, 90% will stop being engaged. But then I also started thinking, well, wow, okay. Well, if 90% stops being engaged, the 10% who are engaged, they're happy little campers, and we're going to start seeing green anyway. So say la vie. It's kind of what I was thinking, but that's not really the right way to be either. Yep.
Well, that was some very good information. I know that see a lot of hearts coming across the screen and some messages that I don't know who you've been getting your information from, Lynette, but I'm hearing some other things about, hey, let's do what we have to do to get the value where it needs to be. But it's not my decision to make, but so don't shoot the messenger. But that just happened to be what I'm seeing right now coming through. But
well, and the people who don't like that, I mean, think about it. You claim every 10 days, claim it in 10, throw it in the nest for 10 days. And then, it still gives the market value 20 days, or the market itself 20 days to get all that submission in. And the ecosystem, like this ecosystem is lagging so terrible. It just drives me nuts. Because if the community was doing what the algorithm requires, oh my gosh, this thing would be beefing. I mean, it would be just pumping money all the time. It's like, it's so powerful. It just hasn't even had a chance to do what it really can do. It's really an amazing platform, but the community's gotta, and the majority of people, I mean, I get it. Okay. I want to sell a little bit. I mean, I don't get it, but I can get the mindset, I guess. I don't sell my crypto. I hate selling crypto. I stake crypto all over the place. I mean, I am like a hoarder of crypto. And so I don't really get the mindset of people who sell it. If you've got a job and you can cover your bills and you get into a solid project, you really should give yourself 2 to 3 years of being engaged in that project if it's solid. And if you're just in some quacky ass project, where it's a race to get in and a faster race to get out, then yeah, beat feet in, beat feet out. But that's not what this is. This is that long-term project. And, you're only going to do yourself better if, for the longer you hold, if you can. This wasn't really it's not like a paycheck. It'd be great, when you've got 500,000 people here, it's a paycheck. You can cash out every day, all day long, and it's not even going to hurt the market value. This has only been here for 1 year. You have to baby it, the first couple of years. That's all it is. I mean, you don't, look at all these babies every single day. Moms are still changing their diapers and spoon feeding them. Okay, this is still a baby project. You still have to spoon feed this liquidity pool. It doesn't have a money tree, that we've programmed into the back end of it. I mean, kind of it does. If the community was growing and everybody understood it, this thing is a well, but it's got to have that time to get there. I mean, millions and millions and millions of dollars. I think we're over the 60 million mark right now that's been cashed out in a year. That's a lot of money that's gone into this community, which is amazing. But imagine if that liquidity was still sitting here, what it would be doing for you right now. It would be doing even more amazing things. You would have to sell much less of your MoveQuest, and you would be able to hold it longer. I mean, having to sell, when I look at what's in circulation, I have to be honest with you, there's only been a little over 1 million tokens that have gone into circulation, and the community is still holding 700,000. So that's amazing. Okay, that is really good. The majority of our community are holders. The problem is the demand for the token isn't there yet because people really don't get what this is. Okay, if you've heard of one move to earn, if you've seen one, you've seen them all. That's kind of what they think. And none of them did anything because they're crapshoots. They are just ridiculously put together projects. They're no better than anything else that doesn't make it. This one here's got that full ecosystem, and it will always make it. Even if the market value gets down to $1, it's still self-sustaining. If it gets down to $1, it's because half of the community isn't mining. That's mining right now. What you're seeing right now in the market value is pretty much what it's stable at for the size of the community. As the community starts to grow, it's going to be even more stable. And it's the best thing about it being at the market value it is right now, you guys, is that now as the market value goes up, it stabilizes while it's going up. That's the good thing. There's enough liquidity that's banked where it would almost take it over the $2 million mark right now. When we were at the $100 range, I think we were pushing the $3 million mark. We're sitting at $4 where we could be at the $2 million mark. And the ecosystem will start pumping that in there. So we're more stable than what we were, obviously, at the $100 mark. The market, the liquidity wasn't deep enough to cover that high of a market value. So now when this starts to go up, it's strong and it'll stabilize at each one of these price points. And you won't see it come back down to that $4 mark. But the community has to grow because it's the engagement within the ecosystem that drives it. And we've been consistent between 3,500 and 4,200 active submissions or active wallets engaged in the ecosystem, probably I'd say for the last 6 to 9 months. So when you start to see that growth, then you'll start to see that market value stabilize. And I can't wait for people to really see how all that works. And yeah, if you guys think the community is good with us adjusting it, it wouldn't be adjusted like long term. It would just be adjusted enough to get it where it needs to be, not oversaturate the market. We could light this thing on fire. But 500 is a low amount, you guys, just so you know. But you know what it would do to this ecosystem, even if we only did it for 3 weeks, 4 weeks. It would be major. Figure that out. 2,500 times, I'm going to figure this out right now for you. 2,500, if we just did it for 30 days, that's 75,000 tokens that would not be in circulation, that would not be oversold. That's a big deal. 75,000 tokens, that's a big deal. And if you times that by just the market value today, that's almost 400,000 that would be sold out of people's submissions that would be in the liquidity. They would add almost 2 million probably in liquidity because the ecosystem itself, what's banked, would add, it would match it. So you got 300, let's say it's 400, 800. It'd be 1.6 million that would go into that liquidity pool over the next 30 days by doing this. That's huge. Now you're looking at 2.3 million in the liquidity pool just by adjusting what's being mined per day. So if everybody thinks they can handle that, that would be good. Because it would whip this puppy in shape.
Definitely something to discuss and look at from all angles, naturally before anything official were to take place. But we definitely understand what you're saying in reference to the potential impact that it could actually have. So definitely worth exploring, in my opinion, to see if it, is something that is viable. Definitely want to hear from everyone to.
And if the community as a whole, Herschel, let's do like a poll in Discord and maybe a couple other places over the next couple of days. But if the community agrees and likes it, what we can do is increase the golden hatchery right out of the gate. So it would go into the golden hatchery for the first round, the first 30, 75, 135, and 210 days. So we'd make up the difference in the golden hatchery for everybody that goes in there. And we could increase the nest hatchery as well for that 10-day mark so they could have more. So it would come into where they're being locked through the golden hatchery and less going into the mining pool. Because I think the majority of the community will probably utilize the hatcheries. I just can't see them not.
So it's not losing, it's just a redistribution to
it's just a
those
redistribution.
individuals that are staking, basically,
Yes.
whatever,
Yes.
and only for
100%.
a limited period of time.
Right, because then as the growth comes in and you start to see that engagement increase, then the golden hatcheries would decrease the reward, but the mining pool would increase the rewards. So that's what I was saying, how it would be an automated, like it would look at the buying and the selling pressure and everything would adjust
Gotcha.
accordingly.
Okay. Well,
And I had set this up originally to drop it down to 500. Oh my God, I thought Waleed was going to have a heart attack. Because he's like, what are you doing? He goes, have 90% of the community is going to like hate this. And I said, well, I don't think so. I said, maybe 20% are going to hate it, the sellers, because they're not going to be mining as much, but they're going to love it when they see that they can still sell, but they aren't going to have to sell as much. And I don't look at, I'm not trying to please the sellers. I'm building this platform to create wealth for those who get it, who are holding and who are supporting the ecosystem. If you're not supporting the ecosystem, I'm happy for you, but I really ain't too worried about you either. Okay, not to be rude, but I'm not sitting here thinking like, gee, how can I make this better for the sellers? No, I'm sitting here thinking, what do I need to do to make this better for the holders, for those who support the project? I really don't care about the sellers. They're getting what they want. That's their reward. I'm happy for you. Keep mining, keep getting healthier and more fit. We love having you here. We appreciate you, but we really appreciate our holders. We really appreciate those who are supporting the platform. And those are the people that I am worried about. Those are the people that I want to make millionaires. And this platform can do that. That's just me. So love you all, but really love our holders and supporters, you know?
I got a feeling the chat's about to light up, so we'll see. We'll get a feel for the community here over the next 24 to 48 hours, I'm sure, in reference to that, and we'll definitely circle back around on that. And I'm sure there will be, one way or the other, it would be made official and communicated to everyone prior to any implementation. So we'll definitely be on top of that one. So Lynette.
I do want to address this with Amanda real quick. Sorry, guys. I know it's getting late, but I do have to address this. So she says, but when the value of MoveQuest is up, we'd be mining less MoveQuest, correct? So no, not necessarily. So like right now, with the 3,000 that go out every day, if the selling pressure had decreased drastically, you would still be getting and mining the same amount. You just wouldn't be selling it. You'd be a holder. So even if the market value goes, and the market value would be going up because people wouldn't be selling it before there was a demand. Okay, so in that respect, no, you'd still be getting the same amount. It'd just be that the community was selling responsibly, not this crazy selling without a demand. Now, if you're talking about with community growth, we'd be mining less. So I looked at a scenario, and it was when we had 1 million users, and you would only be mining, it was like point 0.1 MoveQuest or point, maybe it was about point 0.1, 0.12, something like that, MoveQuest per day if you were maxing out your activity. But MoveQuest would be over $100,000. You'd be making 20 something thousand dollars a day or 10,000 a day or something like that. So while you might be mining less, what you're mining is worth more. So I would take point 0.1 of a Bitcoin all day long staking at 100 grand. And so would you, and so would everybody else. So yes, you may be mining less, but the market value is more. But this is why right now is so important. In a project like MoveQuest, who's been here for a year, you will never mine this amount of MoveQuest again in your life. And so everybody who was selling it like crazy has lost their marbles, or they never had any, quite frankly. I could see if you've got like an emergency and you just absolutely had to do it because, dad needed a new heart or my son needs a new toe or something crazy like that. But just to run to Big B or grab a 40 ouncer, no, I mean, that's just silly to me because that move quest, you're never going to mine that amount of move quest ever again in your life. It will never happen when we start growing. And so, all of you that were mining all this move quest throughout these months, that's like never going to happen again. So I just never could understand that. So I can get selling some here and there if you really had to, but just that craziness selling it to submit, it's like, just don't submit. I mean, like seriously, if whatever you got to do, but I mean, I guess a little bit of move cost is better than none. But when I look at the big picture, I just don't get it. In my brain, I can't understand it. I just can't. But it is what it is. I mean, I'm glad people are able to sell it and that has changed their life. I am glad it's had the impact that it's had on people. But now I wanted to have a bigger impact on more people. And how do you do that? You drive the market value up. That's probably all I got. I could sit here and go on and on and on all night long when it comes to MoveQuest and crypto.
Well, we'll definitely have time to think
Mhm.
about it and go through it and see what the community is saying, or what have
Well, we
you.
really don't. This is something we got to make a decision on because once the hatcheries go live, I got to have an idea of what we want to do because I have to set the algorithms up for those hatcheries. Because if we say 3,000 a day is what's going out in distribution, 3,000 a day has to be distributed. You see what I'm saying? So it has to be allocated to these different pools. So if
Gotcha.
it's going to be 500 in the mining pool, like say for the first round, I have to be able to set up the golden hatcheries to pick up that extra. So it still is going to distribute the same amount. It's just how is it going to distribute it? So we need the community to get actively engaged in this conversation over the next couple of days so that we can, because these hatcheries, if they're ready to go tomorrow, which I told Waleed, don't rush it. I don't like rushing him. I like everything to be perfect. Tomorrow's Wednesday, even if it's Thursday. So if we can get a solid answer, poll wise from our community, tonight, tomorrow, and make a decision on Thursday. Maybe we can have another meeting on Thursday and kind of have everybody come in and give their ideas.
That'll be perfect. That'll be perfect because, and yet again, we appreciate you taking the time yet again for your what you stated as a 30-minute call tonight.
I know,
But
right?
no,
See,
that's
I told you, you get me talking
great.
about crypto and MoveQuest, I can stay up all night no matter how tired I am.
Exactly, exactly. No, we definitely appreciate it. A lot of valuable information and things to think about from this call. And Thursday or Friday, whenever that is, will be great because we did mention at the beginning of the call that on the 20th, we are going to be launching our challenge. I know a couple of questions came in about that. We will go over all of the details and the specifics, but just know that the challenge will entail the, I just put it this way, those individuals that are out getting their physical activity in on a daily basis, naturally, in order to be elite, we would have requirements that were a little bit above not majorly above, but a little bit above what the system requires. But there will be, so from the physical aspect, but we will also have community engagement criteria in there as well, because we're looking
Yeah.
at, to be MoveQuest Elite, it's multifaceted or whatever, but everything it will be doable for everybody that's currently in the ecosystem to attain that. It's just going to be a mark of consistency over a period of time, which will allow each and every one of us to also play a part, not necessarily from a traditional recruiting perspective or anything like that, but just your activity and engagement will also help, because we always say this is a community-driven project. Let's create a community and have some fun and some excitement that attracts others to want to be here along
Yep.
with us. That's another thing that's going to help increase the value of our assets. We have to have
Making it a
things taking
lifestyle.
place. And this will also be an example of what each and every one of us has the ability to do. As we can all have challenges with our churches, with our, siblings, with our fraternities and sororities, civic groups, nonprofits, and all of that. Any of us can have a challenge using the MoveQuest ecosystem. This is just going to be an example of one until we get to the point where in the roadmap we can actually add the challenges to the system that would be automated. Right now it's going to be manual or semi-manual or what have you, but we can all do it. And these are the things that will drive engagement long term to see that growth, because we can have things here that are exciting for people to want to come and be a part of. And it's not always about how much money I can make. That becomes a byproduct of their engagement within the community. This is still a health-driven app designed to help individuals increase their fitness levels and their overall health, as
But you got me
well
in the
as being a
background that loves. Yeah, but you see, and you're right. This is a health-driven app, but I am money-driven for people here in this app. So while we're building that's why we got such a great diverse amount of types of people here, fitness-wise, health-wise, and then the money making and all that. Like this, so you're going to get all of it here because while you guys are driving that side of it, I'm driving the money angle behind. You know what I mean? Because this thing is a money pumper.
but we need that to get that money. So we need engagement.
Yeah,
It's about
yep,
engagement.
100%.
That's what makes what you've built actually work and crank it out.
Mm-hmm.
So that's we'll get there. We'll go into more
And it'll be
details.
fun.
Oh yeah.
Like we're getting past all the hard work. Like for me, okay, MoveQuest has not been a whole lot of fun. It's been a royal pain in my butt. I love it. Don't get me wrong, but oh my God. And I was sitting at the table today and I was talking to Michael. I'm like, this is crazy because what am I going to do? Like, we're almost done with our roadmap. He goes, oh God, you'll come up with so much more. You'll just make your life even more, non-sociable because I'm always sitting at home. He'll be off doing stuff. And I'm like, I can't. I got to work. I got to work. I got to work. And I'm already getting on that roadmap too. But yeah, it's like I am just so happy to be thinking, wow, I've got October, November, and December, and our first roadmap will be completed. Leasing challenges, all this stuff will be done. What are we going to do next? And so I've already got almost one notebook full, and Wally doesn't even want to see that yet. He's like, please don't show that to me yet. So it's fun. But yeah, oh my God, it's been a long 4 years, you guys. But we are almost here, and I'm so happy. And I'm grateful for all of you, just so you know, for being here with us and, sharing in this platform.
Well, sounds good. Sounds good. Well, we're gonna go ahead and let everybody go for this evening. We'll be in communication here in short order, just so that everybody knows what's going on with the hatcheries and beyond. Once again, Ms. Lynette, we want to thank you for your time and attention and coming out and actually sharing with us as you always do on Tuesday nights. And I'm going to go ahead and queue up so we can go out. Everybody, y'all have a wonderful rest of your evening, and we will see you, as they say, at the top.
Good night, everybody.
MoveQuest, let's get it. Turn your steps to earnings, we stay winning. It's your journey, walk it on it. Stay active, get that crypto. Let's go. Submit, earn and repeat. Every step I take, yeah, I'm stacking that heat. Crypto flowing while I'm moving my feet. Health and wealth, yeah, I'm playing for keeps. No more saying, we stay on the grind. Walk to the bag, let's redefine. Balance the hustle, body and mind. MoveQuest mode, yeah, I'm aligned. Stay active, earn crypto, stack it. Every move I make, that's a habit. Turn every step into earnings. New way to win, yeah, I'm learning. Move, submit, earn and repeat. Crypto rewards got me feeling the lead. It's your journey, chase that feed. Health and wealth, yeah, we bring the heat. X Spaces live, Sunday 3 p.m. EST, tune in with me. We talking games, we talking stacks. Moving forward, never looking back. One step closer, mission's clear. Every week, yeah, we pioneer. New ways to earn, new ways to grow. MoveQuest life, let's get that glow. This ain't just a game, this is a movement. Every step's a check, yeah, improvement. We don't stop, we elevate. MoveQuest fam, let's celebrate. Move, submit, earn and repeat. Crypto rewards got me feeling elite. It's your journey, chase that feet. Health and wealth, yeah, we bring the heat. So lace up, get moving today. Step by step, pave your way. MoveQuest vibes, we here to stay. Health and wealth, it's a brand new play.